Good evening, YouTube viewers and subscribers. So what I've got on my table here is something that I saw on eBay, and these things are used in industrial applications, I would assume anyway. First time I've had any real experience with them. But this, as you see here, is a pretty heavy piece of aluminum, and these are called linear slide guides. And I saw these on eBay and I was thinking about maybe an upgrade to my static thrust stand that, you know, maybe isn't quite so draggy, because the keyboard sliders that I've got on there now, even though initially they were upright and now they're flat, they do have some inherent drag to them, and because they're old, and even though I've tried cleaning them and oiling them, it doesn't really seem to matter. There is some drag there. So on a whim, I spent $30 on these items here, and it came as a kit, 4 blocks and 2 rails. And the hope was that these would provide a much more, or a less friction environment. And you can see I've got, there's screw holes here so I can actually screw my platform that has my PSP stand onto it. And the idea was that these would be now the more friction-free surface. But the thing is, these are heavy, which, you know, is probably a good thing. It's just going to add more weight to my stand, and I already have to pick that thing up and carry it out to the front yard, so I have to think about that. And the fact that after I pulled these things off, I don't know if you're familiar with these things, but they have a rubber insert in there, it looks like, or some sort of a plastic insert, and a bunch of balls, bunch of ball bearings, individual balls that create a bearing surface. Now these look like they were pre-oiled when I took them out of the package, because they came packaged like this. And as soon as I slid them on the rail, I saw the trail of oil on here. And as you can kind of see, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that or not, I put a little bit more oil on them, and they do create a pretty close fitting surface, because as I move these, I can see the little oil ring getting pushed back and forth. Now the concern I have, I suppose, is that maybe it's just me and the way these feel. They don't feel quite as friction free as I was hoping they would be, and even these blocks are pretty weighty. So overall, this is probably going to add, oh, I don't know, 7-8 pounds to the stand. But hopefully, I don't know, right now I'm still kind of debating about whether I want to go tear my stand apart, take all that other stuff off, put these things on. I still have to go get hardware. I don't really have hardware to attach. I might have some wood screws, but I probably need to go and find some better hardware to attach these to my wood tabletop. Then I have to come up with some means to attach. These are M5 screw holes here that are pre-threaded. I just have to find a means to attach my platform to this, and then get the safety chain and all that kind of holding mechanism in place. It could take a few days, and the problem with that is that if I go and undertake this, it's going to take my stand out of commission for, I don't know, several days. And if I do that on the weekend, it means no engine runs for a weekend. But I mean, I guess that's alright. I'm just kind of trying to decide on whether I actually want to use this or not. It's really nice looking material. It's heavy. It's very heavy. And like I said, in theory, I thought it looked like these might be the better way to go, and maybe they will. It's just I hear sound, and, you know, I hear the friction or the sound of the balls on there. And of course, if you think about it, when I'm running a static thrust stand or test, I'm only really moving about this far anyway. So it's not like they're going to be doing this. It's really only, you know, about like this. It's only going to be moving, you know, an inch at most, because I'll have it secured. So I'm sitting here trying to evaluate. I keep doing this. I'm trying to evaluate whether that feels more friction free or has less friction than what I've currently got on there, because if I go and take all that other stuff off, then I either have to put it all back on or just make the commitment to go with this. But anyway, this is just a long drawn out babbling video, kind of me just thinking to myself about what static thrust stand version 3.0 might look like at its core.